Hi again, welcome back. This is Angie and I'm with Dogwood Paper Arts. Dogwood Paper Arts. And we're back. We're back for page 2. I wanted to show you what we had left from our scraps from our first page, which was this one. And I went ahead and put in the photo mats on this one. Now the first time I used this gray paper and I ran out of that. So I'm using this blue gray because I thought maybe it went really nicely with this blue. We'll see. I think it's going okay. And I told you I got that out of a pack from Michael's for about $5. It was a combination pack. And I have put it away. So I can't show it to you right now. But I did show it to you in video 1. So now I have come over to this blue Luigi. No, Luigi's chewing on plastic again. And we're going to get ready to cut out this scroll work here at the top. But let me tell you first what I did with these. No, Luigi, he's chewing on a piece of my art. It's in a piece of plastic. Let's see if I can show it to you. Oh, see here? He's chewing on my plastic. I did this at Art and Soul long time ago. Oh, I do miss going though. Anyway, you can see he chewed on the plastic there. He's no, you scoot. No plastic for you, young man. Okay, so these mats, somewhere here are the measurements. Okay, so you can take a look at this. The first one is this one. And you'll need to cut it at 4 5/8. 4 5/8 by 5 3/16. And then we'll go over this piece in just a minute. Now on these, you'll need to cut them at 3 1/2 by 4 7/8. Now I think this one is a little bit shorter. This is the black photo mat that you're going to be cutting. Now on the original ones, I left them just the gray and I didn't mat them with the black. And I felt like they were kind of lacking. And I also used under here a little piece of glassine paper. I have those in big sheets. I decided not to do that on this one. It doesn't really show up enough. You see it there? Just a little piece. I think it would show up better if I maybe ran it through the printer in a different color maybe. And then it would show up more like a vellum. Anyway, I decided not to do that in this album because I think it just takes a lot of extra time. And I didn't mat them with the black. On these, I decided to go ahead and mat these bigger ones with the black. Makes them a little sturdier. And then I cut a 1/2 inch strips out of my leftovers. We're still using our leftovers, and just made a little decoration on the edges. This one I matted the whole thing with the white. So I have a black, the purple gray, and the cream color. Then I put some little 1/2 and 3/4 inch strips on them. And I think that you can do that on your own. If you have a question, please write it below in the comments area, and I will get back to you on it. So, and those will slip into your pockets. 2 down here and 1 up here. Now remember, this one has to go in this way because we had to glue more of that pocket down due to the, we had to glue more of this pocket down due to the scroll work here. And we remembered our magnet. Now we're going to work on this one on the outside. Anyway, those photo mats, 3.5 by 4 7/8. And then the last 2 measured 4 by 4 7/8 inch by 4 1/4 by 7 inch. Got all those? Okay. If you have questions, just ask. I will get back to you eventually. No, I will try to get back to you right away. These are some of the black sheets I had left over from cutting our base pages out. And we'll talk about those here in just a little bit. Okay, so discussing this one. Let me put that there. Let me put the book over there. And let me paper clip these back together. We're going to continue to use these on the next page where we need them. Okay. For this scroll work here, I am using the Heartfelt Creations Ornate Borders and Pockets. And this is HCD1-780. Right there. And we are going to use this piece here, which is the little kind of eyelet edge. And we are going to use, oh, that same one there, I believe. Oops, there we go. Right there. To cut this out. Now I made a line. You know I love to make my lines. I made it down 1 15/16 of an inch. I'm saving as much paper as I can, even 1/16 of an inch. I measured down and drew a line on both sides. Now, like I said, this paper measures 4 5/8 by 5 3/16 of an inch. So measure down your 1 15/16, draw your line. That allows for the top of this to be right at the edge of your paper. And these 2 little corners right here come down to that line and just touch it. And now we're going to put it through our cutting our cutting machine. And I pull these off carefully. Okay. Now where we drew that line, we're going to cut just above this one to get to that little place right there where it's already cut by the machine. Here we go. Straight across there. There it goes. Let's do that again on this side. And let's carefully erase. Let me get a different eraser. I want to get a clean one, or a fairly clean one. Carefully erase your line. If you erase too hard on this paper, because it's got a white core, it shows through. So you want to carefully erase there. Now, because this has a white core, I definitely went around the edges with my distressing ink. However, before I do that on this one, I want to put my photo mat on it, and I want to be sure that it's going to slip into my pocket. And there we go. And it does sit in there good. Now, if you would like to cut a second one of these scroll works and glue it to the back to make it stronger, you can do that. And then you can photo mat the back if you like. I think that that would definitely make it stronger, make it less likely to bend. So really, it's a pretty good idea. So let's go ahead and do that since we're still all taped together here. Okay, let's cut this off. Not right on the line this time, but above it. Cutting straight across to that little place where it finishes up. Here we go. Now let's measure this to the other one and see what we need to do to line them up. Now these do have a front and back on them. So you want to be sure you get your fronts to the fronts and your backs together. Lining up all those holes. So I think the best way to do this would be to glue it together first, and then we'll cut down the sides and even it completely up. But before we do that, let's get rid of this pencil mark very gently. You can see it turns a little gray there. So let's glue it together first. Shake, shake, shake the glue. Oh, I did wanted to tell you on the photo mats that I did earlier. I only put a nice line of glue around the edges of the white. It does tend to kind of show through a little bit, and I didn't want it to show through. So I just put a little bead all the way around the edge of the white, and then cleaned off the glue as I went, if any of it came out the side. I think that worked pretty good. I think it will hold just fine. This glue seems to hold extremely well. It is supposed to be permanent. This is the hardest part of this, is getting all these little pieces together. But we do want it to stick, that's for sure. You're barely pressing on this bottle. Otherwise, if you freshened up your glue, shook it, and cleaned the top and stuff, it comes out pretty good. So let's line up the top first, so it all comes together very nicely. Your holes are matching up. And then lay it down. Don't rub on this part, just press it down good. Come to the other side and press some more. Okay, let's clean out some of our glue. There we go, yes. And I do want to say that that is much stronger. That feels better than this one. This one's pretty fragile. And, you know, you have to be careful with it. So, here we go. Now, even though we measured the exact same, it's still, you know, you put them on the cutting board there and rotary cut them, and you never know. So, if yours did this, go ahead and line up the bottom and both sides so they're equal. Equal distance here. What do you think? Okay, I do have to say that that is much stronger. That's a lot better. I can see that I need to clip just a little bit right there. And that one is okay. So now we need a piece of the cream color paper, or ivory, or cream, whatever you want to call it. Let's see, do I have any? Now you'll be using new sheets of paper. I'm still trying to use up my last little bit of cream from my last project, which, by the way, was this album. Now the way I measure these mats, and we're not going to put black on this one because we did the two gray, the blue, purple gray on this one. If you choose to use blue, that would be good. You can use just black if you want and not double and triple up here. I'm going to make a line here so it's about equal distance there. And I'm going to bring this up to right about, oh, got the edge of my paper. I'm from this side to here, so it's about equal of what that was. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this across this way so I still have a larger piece left. And then this, I'm assuming, will become mats for other pages. Let's see. Right there. And second cut goes right there. Erase any pencil lines that you have. Now, like I said, this does need to have the distressing ink around it, but I'm going to wait till I put this on so that I can set it aside and let it dry while we create our little bows. Okay. Now I'll show you that I'm going to mat this one the same way I did the others. I'm not going to glue through the whole thing. I'm going to put a bead of glue pretty close to the edge. I do want my glue to get pressed to the edges. So I am, whenever I go across the bottom, I really mess up. I don't know why, but I do. Okay, so just around the edges. Okay, and then let's go ahead and mat this down. Now, I could have put that up a little higher, but I didn't. We're going to put a bad thing about the white and the cream is the glue spots get on them. Let's make one for the back as well, since we seem to have a double mat going there. So we already have our length this way. So let's get our width. Draw a little line and cut that little piece off. Let's see. Take off any pencil marks. Clean up your hands. Going around the edge of the cream. The reason I do that is it kind of, I've been noticing glue lines. It's because this glue dries fast, and when it dries quickly, it's dry. You can't force it to undry. So because it's already drying, by the time you are laying it down, you can't squish that glue flat. Okay, and there we go. We double matted it, and now we need a bow. I don't know that I would put a bow on the other side, just because it'll get in the way, really. So you'll need your ball of string, twine, and just make a little loop-de-loo and another loop-de-loo. And pull those down. Okay, so there we have a bow. Before we put it on, we're going to have to heat up our glue gun. I put a little bit of glue on the back to hold the knot, and I'm going to plug in my glue gun, which is way over here. It's not really that far. And I'm going to move some things so I don't like build a fire while I'm at it. I have a lamp over here that is supposed to light my way. So that's kind of in the way, but we need it. Okay, so the glue gun's heating up, so we'll do other things while it does that. But let's cut this off. There we go. And we're going to glue it on right there. Oops, right there. But we are going to hot glue it. Put your string back in your basket. So it's off your table, throw the little shards away. It's a good time to pick up some other things and make sure those are out of the way. Okay, so let's set that over on the hot glue mat for right now. Let me get my things out of the way since we have the glue gun heating up. I'm going to put those in my scissor basket. One thing we can do is, the one thing we can do is go ahead and put our pin in our glue. Making sure you hit the hole and not your finger. We can go ahead and carefully distress these edges a little bit. Now you can use a matching color if you like. I'm just using the brown distressing ink, the photo, vintage photo. Carefully around the white mat so you don't hit too much of it. I'm just barely tapping around the edges here because I don't really want to get my white, my cream color. It doesn't take too well to the vintage photo. Okay, that looks good. I got enough around the edges for both sides. Now if you don't want to stick that bow on there, you can always get some little, if you want to dress it up, you could put crystals on there. Little